Welcome back to Quickie Wiki What. I'm Joseph, joined as usual by my partner Justin. Every episode, we bring to the table a Wikipedia article we found interesting and discuss our findings. We are streaming this episode live on Twitch. Hello to the chat, who's now on screen. If you watch this back on YouTube, you'll be able to see the chat and what they're yelling at us this entire time.
Boy, oh boy.
But yeah, you'll be able to find the VOD on YouTube afterwards, as well as the audio wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever.
So let's get into it. It's been 4 months.
4 months. And it's been a hot minute. 4 months.
4 eventful months. We went through Halloween, Thanksgiving. We could have done articles on all these things.
I know.
Halloween, Thanksgiving.
I want to do Halloween.
Samhain. Halloween?
Yeah, it's Samhain, I think is how you say it. But
Samhain.
Samhain.
In the South, we say Samhain.
Yeah.
And now we've just passed Christmas, and we're getting up to New Year's, and Justin wanted to do an episode on...
The Wild and Wacky Calendar. Let's say it together.
The Wild and Wacky Calendar. Oh, hold on. I have a honking sound effect. It's like a clown honk. You'll love it. You'll listen to it later.
No, I can't hear.
You'll thank me. Justin and I have headphones in. Okay, so I did almost no research.
Yeah. But you know what a calendar is.
I know what a calendar is. My mom collected so many calendars. There's this certain calendar artist that she liked, and they'd make these old-timey looking calendars. She collected so many, she can now reuse them because they start being the same or whatever.
Yeah,
is it every
change
12
the year?
year? I don't know the cycle.
It changes with leap years and
nobody
stuff like that.
knows.
Yeah, well, we'll talk a little bit about it.
Knows.
Nobody could ever figure it out, ever.
But my mom did. She figured it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I use Google Calendar.
Yeah.
You use Google Calendar.
I use Google Calendar. I use all kinds of
Outlook.
I use Outlook. I use my app. I'm not sponsored. Fantastical. That's
Fantastical. What is that? That's an app on your phone?
It's I can't remember if it's. I think it's just on iPad and the Mac.
What's the next thing on your calendar?
Oh goodness! On which calendar?
Don't show too much of your phone screen. Remember, we are on camera.
We are on camera.
I have almost made some mistakes. I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. That's my next thing.
Well, my next thing is a work thing, but my next thing is an auto-populated New Year's Eve. Ever heard of it?
Oh. I know. New
Year's Eve.
Well, shall we get into
Yes.
I'm peeping your notes. Are we talking mainly about the Gregorian calendar, or are we talking about the Julian calendar? What are we talking about?
So there's been lots of calendar, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But part of it's kind of like I've been on Mastodon, right?
Mastodon. Now, you want to promote your Mastodon?
No, not really. I don't. I've only been on it just a little. But someone was like, "Why is the calendar so messed up?" And then I was like, "I know why it is," and because people are itching to know. I think, and so why not just instead of me just going, no. I'll just say, hey, listen to my podcast about calendar. Listen to our podcast about why the calendar's so messed up.
Claim it. On TikTok, they say, I do not claim this negative energy.
I do not either.
So you were able to, did you reply to him? Did you say?
Well, a little bit, yeah. But then it was kind of like, I don't know if they just didn't believe me or they didn't care or they just wanted to complain and they didn't care about the answer.
Well, what did you reply?
So what the question was, and there's all kinds of calendar things. It's like there's so many things that are just confusing when you kind of think of it. We take it for granted, so why does February only have 28 days?
What's the deal with February?
If you were going to make a calendar from scratch, you take 365 divided by 30. That's like 30. Every day can have 30 days.
I'm with you. It pisses me off.
And it's so weird. Like February, 28. Why didn't they just make less 31 days and make them all closer to the same.
In the small amount of research I did, it said February used to have 30 days.
What? I didn't even know that.
Look, I've already closed the tab. It was not on the Wikipedia page. It was on some other page. And then it talked about Sweden. Sweden was somehow mixed in with it. My contribution to this will be very limited. But I did read about Sweden thinking that they had a February 30th, and then there was some kind of war, and they forgot to do their calendars right. And so then they went back.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's all I know.
Podcast over.
Podcast over. See you in another 4 months.
Wah, wah. I'm going to do a double sound effect.
I've got... That's suspense.
Oh.
You can't hear that.
Ooh.
All right, continue.
Okay.
Calendar?
So,
Sorry, I interrupted.
but their question that was on Mastodon was like, okay, October, November, December, Oct-Nov, Des. You know, like the Latin, or I think it's Latin.
Oct, 8.
Uh-huh.
Nov, 9.
Des.
Deca,
Like
10.
10. But what month are those? 10,
10,
11, and 12. They don't line up. They're like,
right.
What's up with that?
What's the deal with calendars?
Yes. That's just kind of like.
Do you know why? Wait. Are you just pointing this out?
I'm just pointing it out, but we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it.
We were talking before it
and we're
started.
going to start at the beginning.
We're on the same webcam now, and I like it so much. When we talk, I get to touch you. I get to touch you and pat
Touch
you.
me and pet me. Piggy's not around, so.
Oh, if Piggy were around and I tried to touch you, he would jump on us.
Yeah.
So I get to do this.
Yeah.
Well, continue. Tell me your findings.
Okay, so first off, I am going to acknowledge there's lots of calendars. Not
Who
just.
would play her?
What?
That's what you say.
Oh.
That's just what you say.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
RuPaul says that.
Oh, okay.
Well, continue.
But you got like the Chinese, you've got a Jewish calendar, you've got all kinds of different cultures use different calendars and things like that. This is mostly about just like the Gregorian calendar.
Okay.
And kind of how it came to be.
We're just skipping. Now, I will say I've had a little run-in with the Chinese New Year calendar before.
Oh, yeah.
Because your Chinese zodiac sign is based on the Chinese New Year. And I'm born January 27th. So my year fell after. So I thought I was born in the year of the dragon, but I was actually born in the year of the rabbit. And that's a pretty jarring. That's a different animal.
That is, yeah. And to think.
What are you?
Horse.
Oh, okay. I would have thought monkey. That would have been too perfect.
Yeah, I think probably so.
Continue.
But
Gregorian.
But basically, yeah, and it's kind of like, why don't basically the answer is like, there's no good way to make a calendar because the moon is doing its own thing, the sun is doing its own thing, even the Earth doesn't perfectly like rotate in a line. It's like the day. That's why you have the leap year because the Earth spins a little bit different than it rotates around the Earth. So you end up with the extra day every 4 years. That's
leap year.
That's the leap year.
When was the last leap year?
Well, it's every 4 years. So it'll be 2024.
Oh, okay.
So 2020 was
well, that's nice. That's easy.
That's easy. It's the Olympics and elections and leap years all the same.
On the Olympics are always on leap years?
Well, I think the Summer Olympics.
Oh, okay.
And then the winter, they changed it. Now they're
every 2 years.
Something
every
like
4 years, but in between the other ones.
I think. I don't even remember. Do they change it to the other? I don't know. This isn't about the Olympics.
Do you know anyone born on... So they added to February 29th. Do you know anyone born on February 29th?
No.
Me neither. They always get away with like...
Murder?
Yes. That's exactly
you want to
what
murder
I was going to
someone,
say.
Your birthday is
You only get
February
away
29th.
with it if February 29th.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
Oh, you just get to say you're younger than you are. You get to be one of those really annoying people you're like literally 20 and you get to be like, I don't know what 20 divided by 4. 5?
Yeah.
You would be 5.
4. Oh, yeah. 20 divided by 4 is 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So let's just start at the beginning. let's break it down. We're not going to break it down to the hours. We're not going to hours. I'm just going to say this. Hours are stupid. Why do you have 12? Why is there 2 1 o'clocks, 2 o'clocks?
Well, in the UK, they use 24-hour time mostly.
Good for them.
They know the difference, but we're stuck in this 12-hour.
It's stupid.
Repeat.
And then you've got daylight savings time, and they change it. And I think this is not related to calendars, but I think instead of daylight savings time, it should just, and instead of having 2 1 o'clocks, 2 o'clocks, just all 1 o'clocks.
I think that you actually wanted to do another episode so you could air all of your grievances.
It's been 4 months.
So you could air all of your grievances about time and dates.
And daylight saving. We should have done daylight savings time. That would have been okay. So we'll go, but days. Okay, days. 7 days. So why? So there's 7 of them. Have there always been just 7?
I don't know. Has there?
No.
Oh, whoa.
No. Yeah.
How many?
Well, some as few as 6. And then as many as like 10.
I like that.
And so like the Egyptians used to have a 10-day work week. And then they would start. Yeah.
Wait, 10-day work week? But then how long is a break?
But then 2 days for the weekend. It's like they're getting hosed.
I think that we should have 3-day work weeks and 4-day week. Yeah, 4-day weekends.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll take it.
Problem solved.
There you go.
Nothing to talk about there.
But how they are, but eventually, like kind of like why they ended up with 7 or why they think it was 7 is because the lunar cycle is about 28 days. And then you can split it up into like 4 times 7.
Right.
And so you've got like the new moon, the half moon, the quarter. And so you can kind of know like, oh, it's about 7 days and about 28 days. And you know like that it kind of falls on that, and that's a way to kind of break it up.
Well, then why are seconds the length that they are? Does that have anything to do with what we're talking about?
Well, I mean, it's all arbitrary. They're just someone's just kind of like, let's do this one divided by 12, and then this one divided by 60, and this one divided by 30.
If we wanted to get rid of the leap year or whatever and make things exact, we should change the length of a second. Do you know what I mean?
Something else.
Well, if a second were slightly longer, we wouldn't have to catch up every 4 years. So we could just have these longer seconds.
But then you'd have like a day start in the middle of a day.
No. Because you lose time every day, don't you? I should have studied this.
Yeah.
You don't lose time, but every day's kind of like its own...
But yeah, it's like because the
time doesn't even exist.
I know, it's a flat circle.
It's a flat circle. Time is a human construct, and nobody can rush me. Stop rushing me.
But it's like there's a cycle. It's a cycle of the Earth spinning around once, and it was like if it was a gear, like a gear on a bicycle, and each time it turned all the way around, it chunked up and it lined up, and every time it circled, it would line up in that same gear, and it goes around again, it would line up in that same gear. Well, the Earth doesn't spin like that. The Earth spins a little bit different, so it's never like it's more about how far away the Earth is going around the sun rather than how fast the Earth spins.
Right.
It's not
I know
on a gear.
I know the basics. It's not on a gear. It's not on a gear. It's not on a gear. I made a shoebox, thing when I was in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So, a diorama.
Yeah.
So I know what's going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
I know a thing or two about that stuff.
But so why did they come up with 7 days? Well, how did they decide to name them?
I don't know.
The planets. Well, kind of the planets. The Wanderers.
Mercury.
So Sunday. So it was like the 7 celestial bodies that they could see. Well, it's not a celestial body because the stars all stay in the same place. The planets move around, and the sun and the moon do their own thing. But they could see the different planets, and they knew that the planets are doing something different than the rest of the stars, which pretty much stay put. So they named the days of the week after the 7 things that move around, the wandering
They
things.
should have named them after the 7 deadly... Are there 7 deadly sins?
I guess.
I don't even know.
They should combine
Jealousy?
them. They should combine some of them. Pride, sloth, envy.
Oh, well then how'd they name them?
So Sunday's the sun, Monday's the moon, Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday is Mercury, Thursday is Jupiter.
Thursday is Mercury?
No, Wednesday's Mercury.
Wednesday the name Wednesday isn't the same as the name Mercury.
I didn't name them. This was on
They
Wikipedia.
said, let's name it after Mercury. How about we go with Wednesday?
Yeah. But I think they changed it in German, or they did something, like, I don't know. There's Norse things tied in.
Someone in the chat said Norse.
Yeah, the Norse ones do the same thing. They had different names that coincide with the gods and the planets. So it's the Norse.
This really became astronomy.
Basically.
Question, true or false? Ancient Greece was really just a less fun early version of ancient Rome.
False.
True. Actually true.
Well, there you go.
I'm playing a Nancy Drew Greek game right now.
Wow.
And so I know about
everything there is to know about.
A thing or two about Greece.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. And I'll talk about, remind me about Stonehenge, because that's important too.
Sure. Oh God. Who could forget Stonehenge?
So, we'll just talk about it now, because that's kind of a form of a calendar, even though it's skipping around the order.
Wait, I saw a thing on TV that said Stonehenge was like a big drum circle.
Aliens.
Well, obviously, that's the truth. But I heard it was like a drum circle, and they were talking about the power of music.
Maybe that too.
So, but the sun shines through it on what, the solstice or something?
Yeah, and so one of the theories, I guess. Stonehenge, Italy. Yes.
Yeah.
But one of the theories is like, and you put yourself in like the olden time, like the olden times, like way before, before the Greeks, even before those,
before shitting in the streets.
Yeah.
Even.
They're like, okay, the days are getting shorter. Are they ever going to get longer again?
They were scared.
They're fucking scared. They're like, what is happening with the sun? Is it ever going to start getting longer? And so they're kind of like, yeah. And then they would do Stonehenge or something like that. And then they would be like, they're testing it. And they're like, oh, we can tell you now that they're getting longer again. And then they would throw a big party. And that's kind of like where Christmas came from. Or the original, the original pagan. They're like, oh, it's a few days after the solstice. And so they're like, we know the days are getting longer again. Hooray.
Are you telling me Christmas isn't about Santa?
It's not.
Well, the more you know. It's all linked.
It's all linked. It all goes back to Stonehenge.
And what does that have to do with the Gregorian calendar?
Well, just so that's kind of like
people were seeing patterns.
That's an early version of a calendar. But I meant to say at the very beginning, but so we'll edit it. Well, I'm sure we'll go back and edit it and to say like, oh, this was at the beginning. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Remember when we talked about that? Well, that's right.
Okay.
All right. Okay, the week.
Did you ever do the knuckle thing?
I don't remember how to do it.
I didn't learn it in school, but everyone else did in their classes.
Yeah.
But it's how you determine the long months from the short months. Because you go January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And then July and August are both 31. You put your knuckles together. Yeah.
Why did they do that? So because of the knuckle trick? What a bunch of jerks.
The thing they don't tell you is you don't really need to care which months have 31 and 30 as an adult.
Google Calendar.
You really don't need to know or care.
Well, I mean, it can be like to say like, oh, on May 31st, you would know like that. But otherwise,
I don't know. I'm always looking at calendar.
Yeah. You're planning something. So, 7 days hasn't always been 7 days, and we talked about that.
7, sometimes 10.
The Balinese Powhatan calendar is a 210-day calendar consisting of 10 different simultaneously running weeks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 days. This is weird. It is a weird thing that comes into a 210-day cycle.
So one of the weeks only has 1 day?
No,
running weeks
one of the
from
weeks has one of the weeks is 1 day, and there's 210 weeks that are 1 day long. At the same time as there's so ever many weeks that are 7 days long, and that was just a weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
And it's a 210 days long cycle, so it's not like it's an annual.
I think they
thing.
should start as the weekend though. So like up until week 3, you don't have to work.
I want this, and the 1 day is Sunday. You're just always on Sunday.
So a fortnight.
That's the next one. So fortnight, right? Everyone forgets about it.
Who's got them?
Yeah, they're like, oh, weeks and months. Excuse me. What about
So
you're
it's
forgetting a fortnight?
Half a month, essentially. 14 days.
Right. And I was kind of like, what does a fort have to do with a period of time?
And did you find out?
It's like 14 nights. Fortnight. 14 nights.
Like the video game.
I don't know.
Fortnite.
That one.
Minecraft, Fortnite. Those are the ones you guys stream. Splatoon, sure.
Splatoon 3.
Now, what am I seeing? Months. Tell me about months.
Okay. Well, this is where we start getting into it, right? Remember the questions at the beginning?
Which is better, Rome or Greece? Ancient Rome or ancient Greece?
About the No.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what used to happen. So December, the last month.
Yep.
And they're kind of like, that makes sense to me. It's the end of like we were just talking about with Stonehenge. It's the shortest. And then from that point on, the days get longer again, right?
Yeah.
So that's the last month. So what's the first month?
January. Good God. Oh. It's March. Yeah.
March.
I just guessed.
No, but it used to be like March was like the first month
for Mars.
For I don't know why they for Mars. They didn't say like it's because of this, but they were just kind of like, okay, this is the active period from March during the pre-Roman. This was like the pre-Roman before the Julius Caesar calendar and all that stuff. But they started in March. March was the first. April's the second. And then da-da-da-da-da. That's how you end up. There were only 10 months.
But did Julius Caesar add January?
So, and that was like, I'm touching you now. I would love to live during this where it's like, okay, March started, you get to January, you get to December.
You just don't do anything?
Just go do whatever.
Well, it was cold.
It was cold.
They couldn't like pick olives.
Yeah. So they're like, stay home. Just do whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's what I hope they did.
I would love if we just got like, I mean, so school teachers get, well, unless you do year-round school, you get the summer off, but you also have to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
My teacher friends always have to do like workshops and other work and whatever.
They don't have to.
I think that they do or they get fired. I really think we should just stop for 2 months.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also kind of anti-work in general. I kind of think that nobody should ever work. Is that okay?
Joe for president.
Is that okay? Nobody should work, and just everyone should be taken care of. But that's just me.
That's you.
That's so me.
I think everyone should work till they drop.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, like me. No.
Okay, months.
So then that's why also, maybe, why February, because they were like, okay, we'll make January a normal day. And there's like, well, how many days are left, everybody? How many days are left? Because they already decided, okay, we're going to do October. It's got or no, August and July. They've got the extra days because they like summer so much.
I just can't tell. I can't tell if this is real right now. I can't tell if you're working out a comedy bit or if I just can't tell if you're working on a bit or if you wanted an audience tonight. You said,
No.
Let's go live. And I'm just going to unravel.
But then no, they've already decided. So they've already decided. So that's how many days are left? February's got 28 now, I guess. That's how it ended up.
That's how
way.
it ended. They had to stick them there.
I guess.
I don't know why they couldn't have done 30 and 30. That's all I'm saying.
I think, or at least they're like, well, let's do both of them 29. Nope.
There you go. Then again, well, I don't know. Everything that humans do is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that we don't have like a leap week. We don't need like to add an extra day somewhere.
Well, yeah.
Leap years, we do.
Leap years.
But it's not like an extra day of the week.
And it's on a pattern. It's not like they're being, oh shit, things are out of whack. Let's change a bunch. Like they figured it out eventually.
They got it together.
And
it worked out.
It finally did. It took until like the 1400s or 16, I don't remember. And even then they still.
Well, do the people that you talked about earlier still do their calendar? The 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah. Well, but
so not even everyone like we all know Chinese New Year happens sometime in like January, early February. But like world scheduling has to happen on like the Gregorian calendar.
Well, and so this was something that I was reading about too.
Like my Zoom meetings.
Yeah. So they'll be on that. But think about like the reason we care about winter because that's when it gets cold, because summer's hot. That's when you can grow crops and things like that. If you live near the equator, it's just the same all year long. You don't care when winter is.
Yeah.
What, the stars are a little different? Who cares? We could have.
And the toilet, the water comes at
it doesn't spin.
In the equator, but in the southern hemisphere, the water jumps out of it.
It jumps out of it and dances and says, "You're south."
The turds go back up.
It goes back up towards the north.
Ain't nature wild?
It's wild. The wild and wacky nature.
Well, I always think about how Christmas in like the southern hemisphere is hot. They've got like surfboard Santa and all that stuff and fake snow.
And then in August, that's when you want the extra days in the southern hemisphere.
Oh, for
those
winter?
Months, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so. Oh, and then, so they had the 10 months. And
Back
then they added
Julius?
But then some people were like, well, we want to start with March still. So it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So March was like New Year's and and still is in some cultures kind of say it's New Year's.
The Pope, a long time ago, said, I saw this on that same website I saw about Sweden.
Ooh.
This is all the research I did. Said, so people, what do they do on New Year's? Get drunk, party, New Year's Eve into the new year. Well, the Pope, I don't know when this happened, said, we don't want people doing that. And so there's a ban on that, and the new year actually starts in March. But then it only lasted like a couple of years. That's just what I heard.
Yeah.
That's just what I heard.
You heard it here first.
That's what I heard.
But there were different countries that would do, so some would start the New Year's, and even in like Europe, it'd be like France did it in January, someone else did it in March. It was confusing.
And now it's all pretty much evened out now.
Yeah.
We're a global society.
So they've said, they kind of decided, hey, let's just do it in January. There you go. January 1st.
No argument there.
None from me. One final thing.
Sure.
Unless you have other.
Oh, no.
You don't want to have a rant?
I've just got really comfortable. I've really enjoyed hearing some of these facts. They're things I don't think about.
Yeah.
It's been I'm in my pajamas. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can clearly see I'm in my pajamas. I've just kind of cozied up and I've enjoyed learning.
It's your bedtime story. It's your bedtime story
I've
about
enjoyed
the
learning.
calendar.
I feel like I'm helping you workshop a skit, maybe. This is gonna go on you're gonna do a one-man show in DC.
Yeah.
You can find Justin screaming about this outside the Capitol.
This is the abridged version. I'm going to have a megaphone down outside of sporting events.
Yeah, we can get Elizabeth Warren with you.
No, but this, like when you go to like a sporting event, then there's people shouting like religious things. I'm going to go and shout about this.
There's that guy outside the Panera downtown who's always sings hymns. No. Don't do that. Oh, well, what was your final thought?
The last
final
thing.
thought.
So you ever you know like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
But so they have a calendar in it that's based off of our calendar. It's 365 days, and then they do 12 months. But
okay.
I'll just read it.
Well,
but,
why doesn't he just say he copied our calendar?
Well, no, but it's so much better than ours. It's like he sat down and thought about it and was like, what if we redid it? What could it look like?
And what does that look like?
So you got 12 months.
I'm familiar with that concept.
They're all 30 days long.
Do you need a leap day? A leap year?
So here's what they do.
Well, their moon's probably different.
So it's the same. It's the same as us.
He just copied Earth.
But listen.
Why do people say he was so creative?
Because of this. This is why I love J.R.R. Tolkien, and I think he's a genius. So you got 12 months, all 30 days long, and then they all start so it's only, but you're doing some math. You're like, wait a minute, that's only 360 days.
Yeah.
But they just add some extra days
so it's still wonky.
It's still wonky, but it's fun wonky. Their extra days are all holidays.
Oh, that's fun. Are they scattered throughout the year?
And so,
because I would want them all tacked on at the end.
So the first day and the last day are two of the 5 extra days, holidays.
Well, then they're not the first or last.
But they're technically like the first. It's kind of like just like a special thing. It's like,
what if something happens on that day? What do you call it? If all the other days have names,
they're named days. So
so you're like, on Boobor Day,
like Liffey
2022
or Mid-Year's Day.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then, so this is also cool. So it's, you know how like at night, like your mom's calendars, like some years the first is on a Monday. Some it's like, this does away with that. Every January 1st is a Monday.
Does that math work out? They have Mondays on Middle Earth?
Yeah, they have Monday, Tuesday. They have the 7 days of the week.
What did he invent? Because I knew because elves existed before then too. What did he invent?
Dwarves.
They were around too.
Goblins. Orcs.
Nope. Probably stole those from someone too.
Probably.
Wow.
But this
is really an exposing Tolkien.
It's very consistent. And then it's just kind of like you have very consistent and then you get some extra days here and there. So it's not you get your weekend and then some extra days and then you start back and it's a week again.
I like that in the sense of, I don't know, it would be fun to I don't know, have a day that just doesn't really exists outside of time.
Yeah.
I want to stop time and just take a really long nap.
That's kind of what they do, except they just have like a little party. They just do it's just like extra days. It's like, you don't have to worry about it.
That sounds nice. Yeah. Well,
bring it. Make it happen.
I don't think there are going to be any. I think at this point, there's too many people in the world and everyone just argues too much that we can't get anything done. We're never going to do it.
Well, it's your president. Nobody works. And we adopt the Tolkien calendar.
I'd have to be president of the world. Because nobody cares about any individual president.
Yeah, you do the United States, then you got it. And you get and you United States, and then you're like, hey, China, here's some money, do it too. And then that's like a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
$100.
Well, someone is saying in the chat, there's stuff with that. Someone said it would suck if your birthday was perpetually on a Tuesday. Because as it is right now, it cycles. But if my birthday, January 27th, was always on this day.
But then you would make your own little holiday for it. You can just be like, it's my birthday. I would almost be like, you're screwed if it's on like a Saturday. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to take a day off.
I just don't believe in birthdays much anyway. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't get Justin started on, let me tell you about Justin's birthday.
Well, that could be
Justin
a thing
celebrates birthdays and half birthdays. And Justin's birthday is the
golden ratio day. I was going to write about that, but you brought it up.
You couldn't work it into your bit? You didn't fit it anywhere in the skit?
Well, no, but that's the day of the year that's like a Mozart when he wrote his symphonies and stuff.
The Fibonacci.
The
Da Vinci Code.
And at the 0.61% of the way through, then that's the most
killing.
important, the crescendo, the beautiful
the
thing. And that ratio is in the Nautilus shell.
He wasn't very creative either if he did all his songs in a pattern.
Not all of them.
I don't know. I think we're really
hate everyone.
Exposing some creatives out there.
I think so. E. Cummings.
Who's that?
He did the punctuation stuff. What are you doing? Everyone knows punctuation.
What?
He just
E. Cummings came up with punctuation?
No, but he was just like, let's use it funny in a funny way. We're not going to put a period on the end of this sentence.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just something else. Anyway,
your head, Arizona girl, your head hurts. I was going to give a warning that this would be kind of a
Justin's got to buy me tacos after this.
Yeah, we're gonna go
get some tacos after this episode.
Maybe a burrito.
I'm gonna get some taco, maybe a burrito, maybe a quesadilla.
Chips and salsa.
I will say the lighting's very good. We've got an extra circle light over here.
Extra.
Yeah, it looks really good. Well, I've enjoyed this. I've learned a lot. I feel like I learned a lot about you personally and the months of the year. And I look forward to experiencing a new year with all of you.
I thunked a lot.
I'll be streaming. Do you have any last words? Final thoughts? Last words?
I'm curious. What else should we do?
Oh yeah, if y'all have any ideas, any things you want us to talk about, because we talk about them very eloquently, just send us a tweet. You can send us a tweet, let us know in the chat. Whatever you want to do, get a hold of us. Very easy to get a hold of. And yeah, we still want to do more episodes of this. It's fun. It's fun to chat.
Yeah.
We don't have a schedule set up right now, but we're never saying
we didn't
say it ended.
It's like a Tolkien day. It's just a random. It's not on a schedule. It's just whenever it happens to happen.
There you go. Whatever happens, happens. I will be streaming tomorrow. We'll be cooking up another Quickie Wiki What at some point for y'all. Are you ready for the outro?
I can sing a hymn if you want.
No, thank you. Here, I'll point at you, and then I want you to hit this button, okay?
Uh-oh.
But not yet. I have to read part of this, and then I'll point at you, and you push it. Justin's going to use the new Stream Deck, which has the soundboard on it. But thank y'all so much for listening. As usual, all this came from the wikis, but there's tons more information about this topic out there. Go check it out. And thank you for listening to Quickie Wiki What. Once again, you'll also be able to find this VOD of this episode on YouTube, as well as the audio wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you.
Did it do it?
We will be streaming, the next episode live again right here, twitch.tv/halfmoonjoe. So we'll see you then with more wiki articles to discuss. Mwah. Thank you for listening. I'll be streaming tomorrow. And take care tonight. Bye.